This can't go on. The confidential information. What should we do? The company's in a complete panic because our beautiful boss's computer got hacked. It's already a blow that company information is leaking outside, but our beautiful boss's computer had confidential information on it. The employees tried to do something about it, but nothing worked, and at this rate, our beautiful boss would be held responsible and probably get fired. So, I looked at her computer, trying to figure out how to fight the hacker. Do you understand anything? Yes. This hacker is an amateur. My name is Mike. Until a while ago, I worked for a big company where my main job was developing new services and building systems as a programmer. But now, I work at a beverage company in a completely different industry, doing office work as an ordinary employee. I enjoyed my previous company, where I had many opportunities to interact with the latest technology that fascinated me since childhood, but I left because I felt out of place. I still feel a bit disappointed, but there was no other choice. By the way, in the department where I currently work, a few colleagues call me, "Hey Mike, is the data ready?" It's done, but I haven't double-checked it yet, so please give me a little more time. How much time are you gonna take for such simple data? You're never gonna be an asset at this rate. I'm sorry. But if there's a mistake, it'll be a big problem. You're being too cautious. Don't you get that the delay is holding everyone back? I'm sorry. Just hurry up and get it done, okay, useless? Yes. I'm sorry. They treat me like I'm useless. But compared to the suffocating struggle at my previous job, this is nothing. Office work wasn't what I wanted to do since I was a kid, but I find it a bit interesting as a consumer to know about new products early. Also, this company manufactures products that a dear friend of mine, with whom I've lost contact, used to love. Even if it's just through the products, I feel connected to him, and that's enough motivation for me. By the way, the reason I was mentally driven to the point of changing jobs lies entirely with myself. When I was at my previous IT company, I wasn't arrogant, but I had skills that surpassed other programmers. I swept various awards and contests since my school days, and I had numerous job offers during my job search. Among them, the one that highly valued my abilities was the previous company, Company A. Filled with hope, I joined the company with many colleagues. And in my first year, I achieved results that didn't seem possible for a newcomer, earning high praise from the company. Feeling elated by this, I worked even harder the following years. I'll finish this task for you. Almost every day, with some spare time, I would offer to help, taking on other employees' tasks one after another. I thought it would make the entire department's work progress more efficiently. I thought it was only natural for someone as capable as me to work extra hard. Then, every 6 months, an employee would leave the company. And after that, one more, and another, with the resignations continuing every few months. Even though I was more focused on work than on relationships with colleagues, I eventually noticed the changing atmosphere in the office. So, during an end-of-year home drinking session with my best friend and colleague, Tom, I casually asked him, "Don't you think the atmosphere in the department has been heavy lately?" When I asked that, Tom, who was about to take a sip of his drink, paused. "You noticed? How insensitive do you think I am?" Of course, I noticed. But I don't know the reason. Do you have any idea, Tom? Who knows? But Mike, you don't need to worry about that. Just focus on your own stuff. But still, enough of the gloomy talk. Here, try this cocktail. The new flavor is really good. All right. If you insist, I'll give it a try. A few months after this one-on-one drink, Tom also quit the company. Why are you leaving? I have my reasons. You just keep doing your job. It's not like we're saying goodbye forever, so don't get all sentimental. But what am I supposed to do with that? If you ever need to talk, just reach out. In the end, Tom left the company without telling me his detailed reason for quitting. Unable to shake off my curiosity, I decided to ask colleague Nick about it. I remembered seeing Tom looking unwell when he left the smoking area with Nick about a month before he resigned. I entered the smoking area for the first time to talk to Nick. Fortunately, he was the only one there, so I could talk without hesitation. Mike, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be busy with work? Nick, do you have any idea why Tom quit? Tom? Who cares about a guy who left? Did you say something that made him want to quit? Like with our other former colleagues? When I pressed him, he laughed so loud it seemed like it would echo outside. Hey Mike, haven't you realized yet? They all quit because of you. This is a joke, right? Otherwise, you're killing me with laughter. I'm serious. Don't dodge the question. I'm not lying. They quit because you were so overzealous that you took over their jobs, leaving them no place. The ones who stayed are either those with the guts to cling on or slackers like me. No way. I thought you were doing it on purpose, but turns out you're just an oblivious busybody. Well, keep working hard for our sake. Even after returning to the office, Nick's laughter lingered in my ears. I began to hear every colleague's whispers as if they were talking behind my back. Every glance felt like it was filled with resentment, making it suffocating to stay in the office. I started to dread going to work more and more. The messages I used to enjoy exchanging with Tom also stopped. Knowing I might be the reason for his resignation, I couldn't bring myself to casually reach out. Fearing he might resent me and scared of a final rejection, I stopped replying. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry, everyone, for everything. Eventually, I quit my programmer job at the IT company and switched to a completely different industry. I wanted a job where I could value connections with others more than boosting my own evaluation. Supporting others behind the scenes as an office worker seemed like a perfect fit for me. I struggled more at my new job than I did as a new graduate. Without any knowledge or experience in office work, I still haven't been much help to my department despite the time that's passed since I joined. As I mentioned before, my mentor and superior, Ms. Thompson, has labeled me as useless. Even so, there's a reliable person who stands by me. Another superior of mine, Ms. Collins, just like Ms. Thompson. When I was demoralized, sitting on the sofa near the vending machines after being scolded by Ms. Thompson for taking too long with my tasks, she approached me. Hang in there. She can be tough, but once you meet her standards, you'll definitely grow. So keep at it. She handed me a cup of coffee and encouraged me. It's okay, Mike. You're steadily increasing what you can do. Plus, you approach each task with sincerity, and the results you produce are always meticulous. I'm always impressed. No way. Don't be modest. I wish you were on my team. Besides, you pay attention not just to your own team, but to all your colleagues. Not many people can do that. That gives me confidence. I'll keep trying. Yeah, but don't push yourself too hard. If things get too tough, I'll talk to Ms. Thompson too. Thank you. That's reassuring. She's particularly short and petite, a perfect match for her surname, Collins. I remember her introduction on my first day vividly. But when I actually watched her work up close, her presence was immense. She was so efficient and produced excellent results, so the higher upas called her the star of the younger generation. I'm in Thompson's team, so I don't interact with her much. Even so, I admire her work so much that I feel honored to work in the same office as her. It seems many of my colleagues feel the same way, and everyone respects Ms. Collins. But Ms. Thompson is different. The other day, he caught Ms. Collins in the hallway and started berating her after she returned from a call. Just because the manager praised you directly, don't get too cocky. I'm not getting cocky. This time, I was just entrusted with it. If you had done it, the manager would have praised you too. Of course, I'm more capable than you. If the timing had been better, it would have come to me. I think so too. That's why I was just lucky this time. Humph. I will never lose. They joined the company at the same time, and I've heard from another colleague that Ms. Thompson still holds a grudge against her for outperforming her in the entry test. Whenever she gets the chance, she picks a fight with her. Ms. Thompson would often show off her documents to Ms. Collins. Look, you can't make documents as clear and easy to understand as these. Even the sales department asked for my cooperation. They're really well organized. I've never been able to make documents better than yours since I joined the company. I'm envious. Humph. If you say that much, you can learn from me. Really? Can I borrow some? I'd like to use them as a reference. Fine, whatever. While they were talking, Ms. Collins received a call on her extension. Sorry, I need to take this call. Hello, this is Collins from administration. She talked for a bit and then ended the call with a smile. Who was that call from? And hey, that booklet on your desk. It's a document about the products we're developing in partnership with Dewey Food Company. I can see that from the cover. Why is it on your desk? Are you transferring departments? No, actually, the higher upas involved in this project asked me to help out with my administrative skills. They gave me the documents. So from next week, your workload might increase, Miss Thompson. Please help me out. Miss Collins stood up and nodded. Annoying. Huh? Did you say something? She looked up and asked. Nothing. Just make sure you don't embarrass yourself. Humph. Ms. Thompson returned to her desk, looking dissatisfied. My teammates and I pretended not to notice, knowing that provoking her would bring trouble. Hey Mike, you finished organizing those files I asked for, right? Unfortunately, I seem to be her next target. Oh, I just started, so it's not done yet. Why not? I gave you an easy task. You really can't do anything right, can you? Well, she just asked me to organize 3 thick files a few minutes ago. Did she expect me to finish that quickly? Hurry up. Don't you feel bad for your colleagues who are earning the same salary? Sorry. I'll finish it as soon as possible and report back. Make sure you do. Don't waste my time. It's a lie to say it doesn't hurt to be scolded unfairly like this. But it's still better than those days when I unknowingly isolated myself and hurt my colleagues because of my unconscious talent. I can endure this. A few months later, Ms. Thompson transferred to a rival company. Until her last day, she kept picking fights with Ms. Collins. Well then, I'm gonna go to a place that appreciates my skills more. You can stay here and rot forever. I'll miss you, Ms. Thompson. Don't hesitate to reach out anytime. I'll never reach out to you ever. This was the kind of exchange they were having. It's really surprising how well Ms. Collins managed to keep dealing with Ms. Thompson. As for me, the team structure changed, and Ms. Collins became my direct supervisor, allowing me to learn from her more closely. Furthermore, since Ms. Thompson's resignation, the atmosphere in our department has visibly brightened. This change clearly shows how much pressure and stress she had put on the employees. A few days later, a major incident shook our now more harmonious office. That day, I took advantage of our flex time system and arrived at work a bit later. As soon as I stepped in, I stood there, stunned by the chaos on the floor. The commotion seemed to center around Ms. Collins. I approached a passing colleague to ask what was going on. What's happening here? Did something happen to Ms. Collins? It's not just a problem. Ms. Collins' computer has been hacked. Hacked. I never imagined I would hear that word in our sales department. Isn't there anyone good with programming around here? Not here. That's why we called for help from another department, but they're in the main building, so it'll take some time for them to get here. The hacker wouldn't wait for our experts to arrive and stop their attack. Moreover, the fact that it was Ms. Collins' computer that got hacked made things even worse. Her computer contained crucial data on new product development that's still in progress. It also had sensitive information on our clients and partners, and critical confidential data related to our administrative work, which could be catastrophic if even a part of it got leaked. If any of this data leaks, it'll be a huge problem, right? More than a problem. It could be a major blow to the company. We might even lose our jobs. Ms. Collins and our colleagues seem to be doing everything they could, but we're struggling. Maybe I could change the situation. But I hesitated to use the skills that had once caused me to lose my place. But if this data leak threatens the company's survival, I could lose this new job and place I've found. No, I'd hate to be useless more than having my skills revealed. I want to use my talents for Ms. Collins and everyone here. I made up my mind and approached Ms. Collins. Ms. Collins, Can I help? I might not be enough, but I can deal with this situation better than anyone else here. All my colleagues, who were running around, stopped and looked at me. Miss Collins, with slightly teary eyes, looked up at me. Can you really do it? Don't you know about my previous job? Previous job? Oh, now I remember. May I take over? Switching places with her, I sat down in front of the computer. I flipped the switch on my focus and prepared to face the hacker. I pushed my brain, which hadn't been used like this in a while, to its maximum capacity, aiming to regain control. Amazing. Mike can do this. Maybe we can make it through this. Go, Mike. Don't lose to the hacker. Encouraging cheers started coming from my colleagues watching the situation. How reassuring their voices were. This hacker seems to be an amateur. There are holes everywhere. Should I hack them back? Someone, please bring me my laptop. One of my colleagues ran off and quickly returned with my laptop. While strengthening the defenses on the vital confidential data we had to protect, I moved to my laptop. I'm gonna hack them back and identify the culprit. You can do that too? Leave it to me. I wouldn't make a blunder that would get me counterattacked, but even if my computer were stolen, it doesn't have any crucial information that would cause trouble. I never thought that not being entrusted with important tasks on a daily basis would work to my advantage like this. Then, I focused all my attention on the hacker confronting my computer and kept digging deeper into their system. I gathered evidence that they were targeting Miss Collins' computer and collected essential data needed for a lawsuit. For now, this should be enough to extract useful information for the lawsuit. With this much, we shouldn't lose. They really are amateurs. With defenses this sloppy, we might be able to completely expose them. Because their defenses were so shoddy, I decided to take one more step forward. I easily identified the hacker and discovered the name of the real culprit who hired them. I was at a loss for words. No way. It can't be. What's up? How far did you identify the culprit? It's the one who hired the hacker is Ms. Thompson. Why would Ms. Thompson do such a thing? As we were shocked, a pair of male and female employees from the first building arrived to help. After getting a brief overview of the situation from a colleague, they asked me for a detailed report. What's the current situation? I've protected the critical data on Ms. Collins' computer and infiltrated the hacker's system from my almost pristine computer. As far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be any data leaks, but the one who hired them is. It seems to be a former office employee of our company who recently resigned. I don't know what Ms. Thompson's motive was for commissioning this hacking. Even if we speculate, we won't find the answer here. For now, I worked with the two programmers to gather more information and verify if there were any leaks. After working non-stop for several hours, we finally reached a point where we could take a break. The two who came to help took the data and returned to the first building. I'm really glad you were here, Mike. Thank you. Honestly, I have no clue about these systems or programming. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. It just so happens that this was an area where I could use my previous job experience. My usual office work isn't that great, and I'm still dragging Miss Collins down. I'm really happy I could be of help to you. No way, Mike, you're an ambitious and considerate subordinate. I've never once felt you were dragging me down. You're always so kind. Thank you. I should be the one thanking you. When we got hacked, I was about to give up, thinking it was hopeless. If you hadn't stepped in then, who knows what would have happened. Thank you so much. And you looked really cool when you stepped in. Cool? Thank you. That's a compliment I don't deserve. Of course you deserve it. You really showed your worth having worked for a big company. I didn't understand what you were doing, but where did you learn those skills? Was it at your previous job? I've always liked programming and computers, and it became a hobby that eventually turned into my job. I shared with Ms. Collins my enjoyment and passion for my work as a programmer. Inevitably, she asked, if you like it so much, why didn't you aim for a job or department that focuses on it? We have a systems department here too. I quickly lied, saying, I just wanted to try a different type of job for a change. It was a challenge. I didn't want to tell her I felt out of place and why. I believed my programming skills only brought unhappiness to those around me. That night, I felt a sense of accomplishment and happiness for being able to help someone else, and I slept more soundly than ever before. The next morning, I thought I might get fired. Just like at my previous job, I worried they might think I was an annoying show-off or distrust me for hiding my skills. While my kind colleagues might not think that way, the two who came to help yesterday might report to the higher upus, causing trouble. Once I started thinking negatively, endless possibilities came to mind. Stop it. There's no point in worrying. I won't know what will happen until I show up at work today. I told myself this and bravely opened the office door. It turned out my fears were unfounded. When I entered the office, my colleagues greeted me with, "Yesterday was amazing. The gap between your usual self and what you did was shocking. Honestly, I thought you were a useless employee, but I respect you now. I couldn't have done what you did. Would you mind teaching me some programming? My kid is learning it at school, and I want to give it a try." They fully accepted what I did yesterday. I thought I might be dreaming a convenient dream. I secretly pinched my cheek behind my back, and it definitely hurt. "What's wrong, Mike?" When I looked ahead, Ms. Collins was talking to me with a curious expression. "It's nothing. I just can't believe this situation. I thought everyone would hate me. No one would hate the person who saved this department and company from a crisis. Why would you think that? The reason I left my previous company was because of this. I overstepped because I could do more than everyone else, causing trouble for those around me. I was the reason people started leaving, but I didn't realize it until it was pointed out to me. I was careful not to disrupt things here, but I did it again. If I didn't have this talent, I would be much better off." When I confessed everything, all my colleagues who had gathered around me went silent. As I regretted what I had said, Ms. Collins responded with unexpected words. "Don't speak so poorly about a talent you possess. It's something special that not everyone has, so you should cherish it. But because of this, I hurt people, didn't I? The reason a lot of people left your previous company wasn't because of your talent. It was because you misused it. You probably thought it was better to handle everything yourself because you could. Right?" I had no retort to her words. At that time, I truly believed it was right for me to handle more than my own responsibilities because I was more capable. Your actions hurt your colleagues' pride and took away their sense of fulfillment and opportunities for growth. That's why you ended up isolated. But you're starting to understand how your actions affect those around you. As long as you remember that, your talent won't hurt you or others anymore. Of course, you shouldn't suppress yourself too much or suffer because of it. Use your precious talent to its fullest where it's needed. Unconsciously, I began to cry. For the first time, I truly understood how those I had driven away felt, and the pain in my chest was unbearable. Thank you again for your help yesterday. Without your skills, who knows what would have happened? You and your talent saved us. And I was grateful for Ms. Collins' kindness in not abandoning me and advising me instead. Come on, don't cry. She stood on tiptoe and wiped my eyes with a handkerchief. I'm sorry. Thank you. Well, really, it's the responsibility of the supervisors to ensure there's no discord among employees. But since it's a big company, they probably prioritize performance over individual care. No, I should have thought things through better. It's not the fault of my former supervisor. You're a good person. Honestly, I'm a bit grateful that your previous boss didn't pay attention to their subordinates, because it means we have you with us now, even though I know you suffered. What? I'm sorry. Now, let's get to work. Ms. Collins gave a small, apologetic smile. That expression made my heart skip a beat. Later, it was revealed through an investigation that there had been no data leak due to hacking. I was then given an order to transfer to the department responsible for machine programming. Ms. Collins was the one who informed me. Congratulations. Do your best in your new department. Even though it might be difficult since the office is in a different building, come visit us sometimes. I have the right to refuse the transfer, don't I? Are you refusing? Why? Are you still scared to return to that field? No. Thanks to you, I'm not scared anymore, and I'm interested in the work. Then, is there another reason? It was hard to answer that question. After all, I couldn't tell her that I didn't want to leave because I wanted to keep working with her and be near her. And my feelings weren't just about learning from her as a subordinate. I was also starting to be attracted to her as a woman, wanting to spend more time with her. Is it hard to tell me the reason? That's not it. I'm sorry for causing trouble. I thought you'd be happy, but I guess I was off the mark. I shouldn't have interfered. What do you mean? I suggested to the higher Ubis that you be transferred to a department where you could fully utilize your programming skills. I highlighted your achievements in the recent hacking incident and your previous work experience. You went that far for me? I've been worried since the day you joined. It didn't seem like you were enjoying your work. I felt you had something else you wanted to do. I was frustrated that I couldn't do anything about it. So, I took action to thank you for helping us with the hacking incident. I'm sorry if it was meddlesome. Please don't say that. I never thought of it as a nuisance. But you don't want to transfer, right? That's because I want to stay near you. It's just a selfish desire of mine. I'm sorry for being so selfish. Wait, does that mean? Honestly, I do want to stay in the office, but more than that, I don't want to betray your kindness and expectations. So, I will gladly accept the transfer. I will do my best in the place where my talent can shine the most and become a man worthy of you. My colleagues around us whistled and cheered. It was only then that I realized I had made a grand confession to my superior. I could feel my face heating up. When I looked up, Miss Collins also had a dazed expression, and her face was red. It was my first day in the new department. That day, I had pushed myself hard, so I was even more determined. By the way, after work on the last day in the office, I created an opportunity to be alone with Miss Collins and confess to her officially. I'm very sorry for what happened in front of our colleagues that day, but I meant every word I said. I really like you, Miss Collins. Please give me a chance to date you. Miss Collins didn't say anything for a while. My heart was pounding so hard, I was worried it might be hurt outside my body for the first time in my life. I'm sorry, but not now. Mike, you're still just a cute subordinate to me. My first confession since high school was a failure. But hope wasn't lost. But if I ever felt I could date you as a man, I think you'd be a wonderful and lovely partner. So from tomorrow, let's both work hard and grow in our new places. If I realize that my feelings are truly romantic, I'll give you my answer then. I'm not giving up. I will become the person she chooses. That's why I decided to transfer here. My new boss welcomed me warmly and friendly. First, I was assigned to a team programming a machine in development to manufacture our company's new product. It was the machine for the new product being jointly developed with DY Food Company, which Miss Collins had requested cooperation for. There, I unexpectedly reunited with Tom. Long time no see. I'm relieved to see you're doing well. Tom, why are you at this company? You know I'm a heavy user of this company's products, right? I wanted to work for a company that makes what I love. I hurt you. As I tried to apologize, Tom came over and hugged me tightly with his outstretched arms. I was worried because you never replied to my messages. Don't leave me on read. Damn, I'm glad to see you again. Tom, do you forgive me for hurting you? I was never hurt by you. Maybe some of the other guys who quit were, but not me. I was inspired by your talent and thought you were cool, so I hated staying the same and decided to change my environment. I wanted to work proudly side by side with you. Damn, don't make me say it. Tom, having finished speaking, stepped away from me and placed his hand on my shoulder. Let's do our best again, together. Thank you. You're always so kind, Tom. All right. Let's start by introducing you to the team. This is how I returned to being a programmer in a new place. The development site, which I hadn't seen in a while, was full of excitement, and the team members were interesting people, creating an exceptionally fulfilling and wonderful environment. And a few months later, by combining the efforts of Tom and the team members, We completed our masterpiece with confidence. By the way, I heard that Miss Thompson was fired from the rival company she transferred to. The hacking request became a big issue, and the company had no hesitation in cutting her loose, as she hadn't really fit in there to begin with. It was certainly a case of getting what she deserved. In the meantime, Miss Collins and I, who work in the program development department and the administrative department, ended up working far apart from each other. Naturally, we see each other less often than when we were both in the admin department. Mike, are you free tonight? If you don't have any plans, let's go grab dinner. I found a great pub. Sorry, I already have plans for tonight. Ah, with Miss Collins, right? You two really make a great couple. We're not a couple. I told you, she already turned me down once. But you're still waiting for her answer, aren't you? Of course. I can't give up that easily on someone so wonderful. All right, I'll listen to your love story the next time we drink. It's not a love story. Sure sounds like one to me. In return, you'll have to listen to all about my wife. Be prepared. You're really a devoted husband, Tom. Naturally. You keep at it too. I will. In my own way, Miss Collins and I now have dinner together a few times a month. We're still just colleagues and friends, but I don't plan to be complacent. If I let my guard down, someone else could swoop in and take her away at any moment. Besides, I heard that 2 men and 2 women have joined the admin department as new employees. Given my own experience, it's highly likely these newcomers will fall for the kind Miss Collins. Resolute not to lose, I left the office and headed to the second building where she was.